I'm here on campus to get students' thoughts on G-Day and the upcoming football season.
Before the Dogs take the field, someone has to make the field. More on how Sanford Stadium is getting ready for G-Day coming up next.
Are you looking for a restaurant to eat and hang out on game days? Well, I've got just a spot for you.
Hello and welcome to this special edition of Sportsource. If you're a Georgia football fan, today may feel a lot like Christmas Eve. That's because the annual G-Day Spring Scrimmage is happening in Sanford Stadium tomorrow, April 15th at 4 p.m. Our show today is all about G-Day. We'll cover which players to look out for, the battle of the quarterbacks, and how the Athens community is preparing for game day. Stuart Steele gathered thoughts from students on UGA's campus this week. Stuart, what was the energy and feedback like?
Thanks, Molly. When I went to campus this week, I asked students about G-Day and how they're feeling about the Bulldogs' chances to win a third straight national championship. Take a look. With Georgia football's annual spring game just a day away, I went to the Tate Student Center to ask students for their thoughts on G-Day and the Bulldogs' chances at a three-peat. What's your favorite thing about game day in Athens?
Honestly, I like the culture. You know, it's like everyone gets together. You know, Saturdays in Athens, right? I mean, there's nothing better than a Saturday in Athens. Everyone has one goal, and that's to win in football. Like, there's nothing else. No one's studying. At least I hope not. You know, no one's in any of the MLC or anything like that. Everyone's just getting ready for game day.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part.
Probably the tailgates. Tailgates are a good time. But the whole atmosphere is sick.
I like that everyone gets to celebrate together.
The environment is crazy. Everyone's so passionate and there to support the Dogs. Even if you're not a football fan, like, you can just feel it. So that's probably the best part about G-Day and game days here.
The quarterback position, Stetson Bennett's gone. Do you have an opinion on who will be the starter, or how do you think they're going to deal with that?
That's a tough one. I mean, Beck got, obviously, the looks last year. I like Vandegrift, mostly because I saw him on campus once, so I feel like we have a personal connection now. But, no, I mean, it's really up in the air. I mean, Stetson killed it. I think whoever it is, though, I think we'll be in good hands.
Oh, I'm leaving that up to Coach Kirby. I think he needs the decision.
I have a feeling that's going to be Carson Beck. You know, Carson Beck got the most playing time during the year behind Stetson, I feel like. But, you know, Brock always has a shot, I feel like. So, I'm not really sure, though.
Georgia's won back-to-back national titles. Do you think they'll win a third?
Yeah, sure. Well, maybe not. I feel like they're not going to win it next year, though.
You don't think they'll
But
win in
don't tell
23?
everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I don't think this year,
Okay.
but maybe in the future once they have some practice with the new quarterback.
I just trust Kirby. Like, I think for foreseeable future, we'll always have a shot. Like, my sister graduated a couple years ago. Like, we were always kind of right on the cusp. So, I mean, like I said, I'm sophomore. I'm already, like, spoiled with natties. So, yeah. But, yeah, no, I think we'll be in the mix.
I think we can do it. Our schedule looks pretty good. We just got to make sure we get through all those, you know, a little bit easier. So, you know, I feel like Georgia can sometimes play down. We always play up to our competition. If we're playing, you know, a team that's not as good, sometimes we can play down, but I think we'll get through it. Kirby will get them right.
For the Carmical Sports Media Institute, I'm Stuart Steele.
The G-Day game will offer Georgia fans their first glimpse of the 2023 team as anticipation continues to build for the college football season. Back to you, Molly.
Thanks, Stuart, for the inside view. Coming up after the break, we will take a closer look at players who could have a big impact this upcoming season.
During high school, I hung with the wrong crowd and I never graduated.
I helped Santiago in many different ways, like all fathers do, because he always wanted to go to college.
I felt a little embarrassed to come back to school, but eventually, once I came here, I knew that it's for a bigger goal.
He was very dedicated, hardworking. He connected with his teachers. He connected with other students. That was one of the key reasons why he was able to keep forging ahead.
It was amazing to see him graduate. This was one thing that meant so much to him, and of course, it meant so much to us too.
With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed. That support is everything.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew a girl so smart, so responsible, she must be a keeper.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Welcome back to Sportsource. We now turn to our Returning and Ready segment. I'm joined now by our Sportsource analyst, Ryland Grady, Cohen Marcus, and Thomas Breezy. Each analyst will highlight one returning player and one newcomer who is ready to go. Ryland has more on our first returning athlete, who looks to make a big impact this season. Ryland, tell us a little bit more about Michael Williams.
Michael Williams was one of the most effective players on Georgia's defense last season. Williams tallied 28 tackles, 4.5 sacks, and 31 quarterback hurries. Williams, who is 6'5", 265 pounds, is often referred to as Trayvon Walker Jr. by his teammates. Walker, the former 2022 #1 overall draft pick, is 6'5", 271 pounds, and holds a very similar build to Williams. Williams was a 5-star, coming out of high school being ranked the #4 player nationally and the #2 player in Georgia by 24/7 Sports. Williams' length is what makes him special. His ability to be fluid and fast in the pass rush creates a big problem for offensive lines. With the departures of outside linebackers in the likes of Nolan Smith, Robert Beal Jr., Williams is leading the candidate to lead this Georgia defense in sacks and quarterback pressures once again, and with an even bigger production. While Williams has a foot injury and will miss G-Day tomorrow, he expects to be ready to go for the season. As Williams continues to develop on the field and in the weight room, he will continue to turn the heads of NFL scouts as he terrorizes opposing SEC offenses.
Thanks, Ryland. I know Dog fans are hoping Williams will do exactly what you said, terrorize every SEC offense that Georgia faces. Up next is a player who made a name for himself last season. Cohen, what's the latest on Malachi Starks?
Thanks, Molly. Malachi Starks is a big returner for Kirby Smart's star-studded defense from last season. Malachi was only a freshman last season after being one of the most sought-after recruits in the class of 2022. He's an in-state player for the Bulldogs, being from Jefferson, Georgia, where he attended Jefferson High School. Malachi was a unanimous 5-star prospect and was selected to the 2022 Under Armour All-American game. He was ranked as the #1 athlete prospect nationally and the #2 prospect out of Georgia. Malachi helped lead Jefferson to a state championship in football and track while in high school. After high school, Malachi had an immediate impact for the Bulldogs this last season. He started for Georgia at safety 14 out of 15 games last season as a true freshman. Malachi was a finalist for the Sean Alexander Freshman of the Year award and was third on the team in tackles with 68. He led Georgia in pass breakups with 7 and had 2 interceptions on the season, including in his first career game in Georgia's opening season smackdown of Oregon. One of Malachi's best plays last season came against Missouri, where he made a touchdown-saving open tackle that kept Missouri from going up 3 scores and potentially changing the outcome of that game. He also showed out in Georgia's biggest game of the season against Tennessee, where he recorded a team-high 10 tackles and a pass breakup. In the college football semifinal game, Malachi had 4 tackles and a quarterback hurry to help lead Georgia past Ohio State. Malachi was already a huge part of Georgia's defense in his first season, so I expect him to make a big leap this season and become one of the best defensive backs in the country.
Thanks, Cohen. It sounds like Starks has a great opportunity to build on his success from last season. Up next is another returner who can build on his foundation from last season. Thomas, tell us a little bit more about Oscar Delp.
Thanks, Molly. The UGA tight end room is absolutely littered with talent. Brock Bowers and Darnell Washington highlighted that group last year, but Washington has moved on to the NFL, leaving big shoes to fill in the tight end role. A name that is keen to fill that role is sophomore Oscar Delp. Delp has got little playing time in the 2022 season, but did catch a touchdown against South Carolina. Delp was a highly touted recruit coming out of high school, where he was the #2 tight end of the nation and the #9 overall recruit in the state of Georgia, according to 24/7 Sports. In his senior year, Delp caught 59 passes and for over 900 yards and 8 touchdowns, which earned him an invite to the 2022 All-American Bowl. Delp found himself behind 2 elite tight ends last year, but now has a chance to step into the spotlight. Georgia runs many plays with 2 tight ends on the field, meaning we could see the combination of Bowers and Delp often next season.
Thanks, Thomas. The tight end room surely is not running out of talent anytime soon. Ryland, speaking of Georgia's tight end room, who are you keeping an eye on when it comes to newcomers?
Molly, there are plenty of newcomers to keep an eye on, but my newcomer that I believe is ready to make an immediate impact is freshman tight end Lawson Lucky. Lucky is a 6'3", 225-pound early enrollee from Norcross High School in Norcross, Georgia, and is already turning heads. The 4-star tight end was ranked the number 8 tight end in the country and also the number 10 ranked player in the state of Georgia for this recruiting class. Lucky enrolled early at UGA as well as participated in bowl practices this past December. Lucky has been present for spring practice and even scored 3 touchdowns in his first UGA spring scrimmage 2 weeks ago. With the departure of 4 scholarship tight ends this offseason, Lucky will be counted on early and often to help create depth behind the Mackey Award-winning tight end Brock Bowers.
Thanks, Ryland. We'll see if that touchdown trend continues for Lucky tomorrow. Cohen, I've heard we're bending the rules a little for you and your newcomer. Who do you have for us?
Thanks, Molly. I may be cheating by putting Branson Robertson here, as he did play some last season, but he was the 4th-string running back and didn't play much outside of mop-up duty. Branson is from Canton, Mississippi, where he attended Germantown High School. He was a 4-star prospect and the number 4 running back in the class of 2022. He was selected to the Under Armour All-American game, and in Branson's first season with Georgia, he gained 341 yards on 68 attempts and averaged 4.9 yards per carry. Almost a third of his yards came against Auburn when Kendall Milton and Kenny McIntosh were both nursing injuries. He rushed for 98 yards on 12 carries and was named SEC Freshman of the Week. In mop-up duty during the national championship game, Branson showed what he was capable of, as his powerful running led him to gaining 42 yards and 2 touchdowns. Branson is getting a lot of reps this spring in his first spring practices, as Kendall Milton and Dejon Edwards are both dealing with injuries. Kirby has said he has seen flashes of explosiveness, burst, improvement, and an ability to drop his pads and take contact to keep going. I expect Branson to be a big part of Georgia's offense this season and be the next great physical running back for the Bulldogs.
Thanks, Cohen. Dog fans can be excited to see a lot more of Robinson this season. Last but not least, we have a player who is ready to attack the day in the defensive backfield this season. Thomas, what's the latest on A.J. Harris?
Thanks, Molly. Few Bulldogs had a greater impact on UGA's back-to-back championships than Keely Ringo. His pick 6 against Alabama sealed the first title, and he was a constant on the 2022 defense for the Bulldogs. He has now taken his talents to the NFL, so Georgia has a hole to fill at corner. A.J. Harris has been a name that has been pointed to as an answer. Harris is an incoming freshman but is already on campus for spring practice. Harris is one of the highest-rated recruits in the 2023 class for UGA. He was ranked number 3 cornerback in the country last year and the 5th overall recruit in Alabama, according to 27 Sports. During his senior year at Central High School, Harris totaled 52 tackles, 3 INTs, and 2 forced fumbles. Georgia lost another corner, Jaheim Singletary, to the transfer portal, but were able to add Smoke Bowie from Texas A&M. In a quarterback room with so much churn, Harris has a chance to play early and often across from established Kamari Lassiter.
Thanks, Thomas. We may have just named 6 players to look out for, but the Dogs will have even more players who can step up this upcoming season. Tomorrow's scrimmage will help us see which Dogs are ready to attack the day. Coming up, Eric Tiongson takes us behind the scenes between the hedges. Still ahead, Rafael Cruz tells fans the best place to get a pregame meal in Athens.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woohoo! Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie. So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a 4th ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
In order for Sanford Stadium to be ready for game day, there is a lot of behind-the-scenes work to be done. Eric Tiongson has more for us on what it takes.
Thanks, Molly. Sanford Stadium is one of the most iconic spots on UGA's campus, but it's only used a few times a year. I've got the inside look on how the home of the Dogs is preparing to open its doors for the first game since November. This Saturday in Athens, for the first time in 140 days, it will be time to tee it up between the hedges. And when UGA football returns to Athens with the kickoff of G-Day, Sanford Stadium will be ready. Mark Delafachelle is the Senior Director of Facilities at UGA and is excited to welcome people back to where the Dogs play.
The crowd is here and everyone's excited, and we just want to give them the best facility that we can provide.
Delafachelle estimates that the crowd will be at near capacity in this year's game. For many football fans, G-Day is a welcome return to Sanford Stadium, but for many others, G-Day is a first taste of football between the hedges.
It might be a little different crowd at G-Day, maybe people who don't normally come to the stadium, and we want to really impress them just as much as our regular ticket folks.
Delafachelle and his staff have put in a few new changes that will be sure to impress spectators old and new alike on Saturday.
You'll just see there's some signage up from our national championship, of course. There's a 2022 sign up on the east end on the second level along the edge. You'll see that when you come in. There's also a new Dooley Field sign. It's got a little more pop to it, and really to honor Vince Dooley, with his passing.
But besides making the stadium pop, the field itself has to be ready for its first game since last November. Matt Huland is the Director of Fields and Athletic Grounds at UGA and has been hard at work to keep the field clean, safe, and fresh.
The biggest thing is just stability, making sure when they go to plant or cut, they can, and the grass or ground doesn't give away.
But springtime proves to be a challenging time of year to prepare a field. Fluctuating temperatures have been hard on the grass and prevented growth. Huland says that the grass on the field goes dormant if temperatures drop below 50 degrees, which has been common during nights this spring. He's had to get creative to keep the grass properly heated.
We have some we call them like growth blankets or frost blankets that try to create somewhat of a greenhouse effect. We also just play around with some dark colored paints. We'll paint the field kind of as blackish green as we can to hopefully trap some heat.
That's not the only painting they're doing. After being bare for a few months, the hash marks, yard numbers, sidelines, and end zones will get a fresh coat of paint. So while G-Day may be better known for the return of the Georgia football team, it's also the return of Sanford Stadium. And with full seats and a freshly painted field, it will finally feel like Saturday in Athens, back between the hedges. For the Carmical Sports Media Institute, I'm Eric Tiongson. The average attendance for the G-Day game during the Kirby Smart era is over 70,000, and we'll be sure to see many people pile in tomorrow, kicking off a new year of Saturdays in Athens. Back to you, Molly.
Thanks, Eric, for giving us a behind-the-scenes view. I know the entire Bulldog Nation is excited to be back in Sanford Stadium watching the Dogs play. We're going to take a short break, but stick around as we will take a closer look at the quarterback battle.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight, both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back, because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
You're home before sunrise, on top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Yo, Scott.
Hey.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Oh, you know what? I was just in there. The line is like 10 people long.
You know, I think I'll just...
Dude, are you okay?
You wouldn't believe what I was just thinking. I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
Smart man.
Did you see how that dog was looking at me?
Some mailmen leave behind letters or packages, but the Georgia Bulldogs have a mailman that's leaving behind big shoes to fill. It's the burning question for this upcoming season. Who will try to fill the shoes of Stetson Bennett? The task is large, but the QB battle is in full swing. It's time for a segment we like to call Preparing for the Pocket. I'm joined again by Sportsource analyst Ryland Grady, Cohen Marcus, and Thomas Breezy with more details on each quarterback and what they bring to the table. We'll provide the information, then you can make your prediction. Ryland, we'll start with you.
Thanks, Molly. There are indeed shoes to fill, and that is indeed the question everyone is asking themselves this offseason. Our first candidate and the man in front to take that job is rising redshirt junior number 15, Carson Beck. Beck, a 6'4", 215-pound kid from Jacksonville, Florida, received plenty of late-game snaps and big margin victories last season, of which he played in 7 games total, completing 26 of 35 passes for 310 yards and 4 touchdowns. Beck was a highly touted recruit out of high school, being the number 9 ranked pocket passer in his 2020 class, according to 24/7 Sports. Beck is known for his pocket presence and his accuracy in the passing game. Beck had a decent day of production in Georgia's first spring scrimmage, throwing 3 touchdowns, but also throwing 3 interceptions. Beck will need to eliminate those turnovers, but as a veteran guy in that quarterback room, he seems poised to take the starting role.
Thanks, Ryland. Cohen, could Gunnar Stockton be Beck's leading challenger?
It's possible, Molly. Gunnar Stockton is a sophomore quarterback out of Tiger, Georgia, where he played at Raven County High School. Other than having the best quarterback name in the country, Gunnar had a historic high school career. He was selected to play in the All-American Bowl, a 4-star prospect, and the number 7 quarterback nationally. Gunnar was the Georgia football Gatorade Player of the Year his senior season and was named to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution Super 11. Gunnar amassed a mind-boggling 13,652 passing yards, 177 passing touchdowns, 4,372 rushing yards, and 77 rushing touchdowns in his 4-year career. Remember earlier when I said he had a historic high school career? Well, he holds state records in career passing touchdowns, passing yards, and rushing touchdowns. Gunnar was also a standout baseball player, being named to the Max Preps All-America First Team in Baseball sophomore season and named to the second team his junior season. Since arriving to Georgia, Gunnar has not gotten any playing time yet. However, as his absurd high school numbers show, he is immensely talented and battling for the starting spot at quarterback this spring. Coach Smart recently said, "I wouldn't count Gunnar Stockton out of this quarterback battle because the kid is talented and smart. I got to see him on the scout team the entire year and really saw him grow. Personally, I am excited to see Gunnar show off his talent at G-Day and compete for the starting job at quarterback this upcoming season."
Thanks, Cohen. It sounds like there is a real battle for the starting position. Thomas, G-Day certainly gives an underdog like Brock Vandegrift an opportunity to prove himself. Tell us a little bit more about him.
Thanks, Molly. Redshirt sophomore Brock Vandegrift finds himself in the middle of the competition for the QB1 spot this fall. Vandegrift was a highly touted quarterback coming out of high school and held offers from virtually every Power 5 school. Vandegrift grew up in the Athens area and attended Prince Avenue Christian School. While there, he accumulated over 10,000 passing yards and 107 touchdowns. He led the Wolverines to a state title his senior year, throwing 46 touchdowns and only 7 INTs. In fact, Vandegrift never had a season in high school with more than 7 INTs. After high school, Vandegrift was invited to the Elite 11 camp, a camp with the highest recruited quarterbacks in the country. After a historic run Stetson Bennett has had the last 2 years, there is an opening for someone else to take the reins. G-Day will give Vandegrift an opportunity to show off his talents to the Bulldog faithful. Tomorrow could give great insight into where the QB battle is now and who could eventually win out.
Thanks, Thomas. There y'all have it. Numbers and history can give fans an idea of which QB will fill Bennett's shoes, but the true preview will take place tomorrow between the hedges. If you're looking for a pregame meal tomorrow, stay tuned. Rafael Cruz has the place for you.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie. Nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
How prepared is your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza. Yes.
Make a plan today.
Regardless of where you are on your path to retirement, you can still take charge of your financial future today. Visit aceyourretirement.org and answer a few questions from Avo, your friendly digital retirement coach, for free tips, resources, and advice customized for your situation to help you feel confident and prepared for retirement. Retirement looks different for everyone. Make sure you're prepared for your financial future at aceyourretirement.org.
Saturdays in Athens are more than just what happens between the hedges. Our Sportsource reporter, Rafael Cruz, visited downtown Athens Staple, the world famous, to see what a Saturday in Athens looks like outside of Sanford Stadium.
Molly, there are plenty of good spots to eat and drink on game day, but there are very few places that have a diverse menu for everyone and speedy service at the bar. If you're looking for a quick bite to eat or a tasty cocktail you've never tried before, look no further than the world famous. The World Famous is one of the highest regarded restaurants and bars right in the heart of downtown Athens. It's a lively environment with good drinks, good eats, and live music. Their bartenders always give fast and friendly service, making customers always wanting to come back for more.
It's got all that kind of kitschy local flavors, live music here at night. My favorite sandwich here is the Chicken and Waffle Club. It is outstanding, but I would also recommend the poutine, which is something you don't really see very much of in this town.
There are lots of intriguing pieces of local artwork displayed on all the walls that are bound to catch your eye. There's even a shrine of Kirby Smart with the title, St. Kirby. This spot has just the right vibe for any type of person to enjoy. And this is a great place to come in the afternoon before game time or post-game when you want to relax, unwind, and listen to a live band.
You can drink all day and then come pick between like 12 different really filling meals and then start all over if you wanted to. And we always have live music, at least like twice a month. The shows are really affordable and accessible for everybody, and just a variety of music comes through here, so like every genre you could think of has played here. The environment's really welcoming for absolutely every type of person. It's probably the most diverse bar in Athens, and it's affordable all around.
Esquire named the World Famous as one of the 21 best bars in America in 2018. They have a very creative drink menu with distinct signature cocktails. They also have all kinds of food that dip into different taste palettes. And if you're not sure what to order, your bartender will give you a good recommendation on what to try.
The hot wings, because we make our hot sauce, and they're also the best wings in town, in my opinion. They're double fried and really big, and the sourcing of them is better than most places that have wings. So. I always recommend the Chupacabra. It's a tequila-based cocktail. I just like tequila, and also it has the most fresh juice in it, so you're getting the best bargain from it. It's like a spicy margarita.
All right, well, I'm about to join the Chicken and Waffle Club by trying the Chicken and Waffle Club. It comes with a side of Zapp's Voodoo Chips. And I also got a Pompatus of Love, which is basically a pomegranate mule. So we're gonna give this a try, see how it goes. Wow, this is really good. Well, the next part of this film is about to be rated R because this is about to be really violent and messy, but I'll send it back to you guys in the studio. With the Carmical Sports Media Institute, I'm Rafael Cruz. Man, that fried chicken and waffle club didn't stand a chance once it got put in front of me. No, but if you haven't tried the World Famous yet, you should give it a try with your friends on G-Day or the next UGA athletic event. Now, tell me, Molly, what'd you think of that St. Kirby Smart shrine? Was I supposed to bow my head and say 3 glory glories? I wasn't sure what to do.
Thanks, Raphael. If you want that three-peat and you're at the world famous, you may have to bow at Kirby Shrine. That's all from us. We hope to see y'all tomorrow between the hedges. Good night and stay classic, Athens.